So as you come to lying on your back, making any little movements that you need to make in order to be able to settle for a couple of minutes. So you might like to move your head around a bit, maybe roll your shoulders. A little bit of wriggling before you can come into your own stillness. Come into your own body. Come to your own breath. And as you continue to settle, as you continue to allow your body to drop into the support beneath you, I'm going to read a poem I read out in the lunchtime relaxation, actually, by David White. It's a new poem of his, relatively new poem, called The Bell and the Blackbird. If poetry's not your thing, just allow the words to wash over you. It really doesn't matter. The sound of a bell still reverberating, or a blackbird calling from a corner of a field, asking you to wake into this life, or inviting you deeper to one that waits. Either way takes courage. Either way wants you to be nothing but that self that is no self at all. Wants you to walk to the place where you find you already know how to give every last thing away. The approach that is also the meeting itself, without any meeting at all. The radiance you have always carried with you as you walk both alone and completely accompanied in friendship by every corner of the world crying Alleluia. And taking a few moments, if you would like to set yourself an intention for this class. A little bit of a decision about how you want to approach the class, what kind of quality you'd like to bring to it, so that you can take that off the mat and into the rest of your evening, perhaps. Take your time. Take your time to notice how you're feeling, maybe before you leap into setting an intention. Notice what your body is holding of the day or of your week, or maybe of the last few weeks. And noticing the quality of your breath this evening. Feeling the air in your nostrils. And the way your body moves as you receive each breath and as you release each breath. Not searching for anything, no desire to change anything, simply noticing your breath and your body just as they are right now. Welcoming everything in. And the next time you come to breathe in, breathing in deeper so you feel the whole of your abdomen inflate. And then with an out breath, really long, sigh out that breath, feeling your whole body release. And then taking another breath in and inflating completely, And letting go completely on the exhalation, if you're a deflated balloon. And then we'll take one more of these full breaths in, feeling the breath to your fingertips, to your toes, to the top of your head. And letting it all go on the exhalation and returning to a natural breath. Returning to a natural breath. And then sliding your legs together so that your feet are touching. And we're going to take the fascial wobble movement that most of you already know, but there might be people here tonight who haven't done it with me. Before we do anything, can you become as loose as you possibly feel you're able to in your body? So you're just not needing to do anything at all. Almost as if your skeleton is gently falling apart. And then with that quality of ragdoll, beginning to press your heels into the floor with a little bit more intention so that your toes are now pointing up towards the ceiling. And you're going to begin to rock on your heels. Don't worry about the rest of the body to begin with. You're going to rock on your heels so that your feet move. It's almost like you're pointing your toes a little, toes are pointing back, but you're not trying to do anything with your feet. The only thing you're trying to do is roll on these heels which are pressing into the mat. And sometimes it takes a little bit of a while to allow the body to respond to this, because you might start trying a little bit hard with a part of the body that's just not needed. And then if your body is loose, even though you're just initiating the movement from the heels, you might begin to notice the whole of your body is rippling. The whole of your body is responding to this movement. It's like a gentle shake. So the back of your head, for example, is rubbing on the mat. Your chest is lifting and dropping. Your arms and hands are rubbing on the mat. Just giving the whole of our webbing of connective tissue a lovely shake up and hydration. Just a lovely defrag. Keep going for a little while longer if you can. I know it might feel a little bit weird in the calf muscles. If it's too much for you, stop. Otherwise, we'll keep going for a few more breaths. The looser you can be, the better. The less you try, the better. You might almost feel your teeth rattling in your mouth. Maybe it's just me. Sounds a bit morbid. And then stop. And then stop. And take a moment to feel the residue of that little bit of a shake-up, which actually comes from the Feldenkrais method. A great way of unblocking energy blockages through the body. Can you feel that fizz? Can you feel that tingling, that aliveness through your whole body? Let's see if we can introduce that aliveness into the practice, but at the same time as being very gentle. Allowing stillness even into the center of movement. And then bringing your hands so that they're one on top of the other over the center of your chest. You could have the left hand down and the right hand on the top. And just take a moment, maybe you can feel your heart beating. Take a moment to tune into your breath. Feeling the rise and the fall of your chest with the breath. And next time you inhale, beginning to open your arms out so they're in a T shape. And exhale here, releasing the arms down. I want you to see if you can really feel the distance from your left fingertips to the right fingertips. the whole of the inside seam of the arm across the chest to the other arm. And then take another full breath in and stretch out from hand to hand. And as you exhale, give yourself a hug with your right arm over your left. You might even want to rock a little bit here, maybe reaching your fingertips around to your shoulder blades. A little bit of a rock, a little bit of a hug. It can feel so good just to hug ourselves sometimes. And then breathing in, open your arms out again. And breathe out, relax them, release down onto the floor. And when you breathe in, really energize from left fingertips to right. And then exhale, wrap your left arm over your right in a little hug. Maybe your fingertips reach around to your shoulder blades, don't worry if they don't. And maybe have a little bit of a rock here, just feeling into your upper back, your shoulder girdle. Maybe rocking over the back of your head a little bit. And then releasing your arms down by your sides. Palms are facing down on the mat. And breathing in, lifting your arms, floating them to vertical. And breathing out, allowing them to relax behind your head on the floor. And breathing in, floating them up to vertical again. And this time breathing out, bringing your right knee into your chest. Using your hands to hug the right knee in. And have a little bit of a circle. A little bit of a circle. If you want to engage more, you can push through the left heel. This is more just to say hello to the right hip socket. Might be feeling tender. Might not. And then drawing the knee closer in towards you and inhaling. And exhaling, lifting your head to your knee. And taking another breath in here. And as you breathe out, settling your head down to the mat, but keeping your knee in towards you. Lovely. And then taking a breath in and sliding your foot away. Very soft, very gentle. And then breathing in, lift your arms to vertical again. And breathe out, take your arms behind you. Just relaxing in the shoulders and the wrists. And breathing in, float your arms up to vertical. And then breathing out, bring your left knee in with your hands, maybe pushing through the right heel. Have a little bit of a circle in the left hip. A little bit of a circle in the left hip. Feeling in and breathing. No special breath today, just simply breathing naturally and feeling the breath move your body. And then holding the knee in, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lift your head to your knee. And take another breath in here. And then breathing out, slide your foot away, release your head down. Wonderful. Next breath in, lifting your legs up to vertical. And breathe out here. So your feet are facing the ceiling. And then take another breath in. And as you breathe out, lift your head to look in between your legs. You can lift your arms up beside you. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, maybe even move a little bit closer towards your legs. Take a breath in. And with the breath out, take your hands and interlace them behind your head so you release the strain from the neck. And gently settle your head down, but still resting in your hands. And then breathing in, on the breath out, begin to slowly lower your legs to the floor, hinging here. And you can lift your head to look up as they slowly, slowly, slowly come towards the mat, and hover a moment with them off the mat, feeling the strength of your abdomen, trying not to strain your neck. Take a breath in, and then gently release your heels and your head down towards the mat, taking your arms by your sides. And then bending your knees up and taking your feet mat distance apart. So your right foot is over to the right side, the left foot's over to the left side. You can take your arms out in a T shape. And breathing in, and on the breath out, allow both knees to gently, fluidly rock to the left as your eyes turn to the right. Very slow, mindful windshield wiper movement. And take a breath in and out here. Really soften the pelvis and the side waist. And then on the breath in, roll your head up to neutral. Lift your knees up to neutral. And use your breath out to move your knees to the right and your eyes to the left. And we'll take a breath in and out when we're here, just really softening around the shoulders and the jaw, around the hips and the lower belly. And let's do that again, breathing into the top. And breathing out, gently rocking to the left as your head moves gently to the right. And take a breath in and out when you're here, looking for as much softness in your skin and all your tissues as is possible here, letting go. And then breathing in, come to the top. And on the breath out, knees drop to the right, your head comes to the left. And take a breath in and out when you're here. Beautiful. Really soften the eyes tonight. Give your eyes a rest. And bringing your head back to neutral. Lifting your knees. And bringing your knees in towards you. You're going to have a little bit of a rock around, nothing too big. And we're going to come up to sitting very briefly in order to lie back down again. So you can roll to the side or you can roll right up. We're going to take the right arm out to the side and turn the thumb down so the palm of your hand is facing behind you. And then bring the front of your forearm behind your back. Now we're going to use our body weight, so we've done this before. We're going to use our body weight to lie down on that arm. So if you have an injury or you just feel very stiff, keep the arm much lower down the back. If you're able to, you might be able to bring your hand up in between your shoulder blades, but you find out what's right for you. And then settle yourself back down. So you feel the weight of your ribs pressing down on the back of that hand, the forearm. Now this might be enough for you, or you might like to use the left arm as well, in which case breathe in and lift the left arm over your head. And as you breathe out, slide the hand, back of the hand to the floor, down behind your head and neck. So basically this is cow face arms on the back, and if you were sitting up or standing, or maybe you can now, I can't, your fingertips would be clasping in between your shoulder blades, but that isn't really the point of this. The idea is just to feel an opening in the left arm and a little bit of pressure on the front of the right shoulder. And can you allow the whole body now to become super heavy? So you're not trying to do anything, you're just releasing and allowing the weight of your body to do the work. And breathe. And if you wanted to, you could wriggle around a little bit. Maybe your fingers meet, maybe they don't. But that's, like I say, we're not coming into the full pose. We might do that tomorrow morning. This is a wonderful Gomukhasana arms, cow face arms. It's just one of the best things if you've been working at a computer a lot, or you just have stiffness and tiredness in your shoulders. Wonderful. And then if your left hand is behind you, sliding it away and floating it back down by your sides. And you're just going to roll over to the left to release the right arm, which might feel a little bit tender, and then lying back onto your back with both arms by your sides in a neutral position, just for a moment, just to feel the difference between the two sides. And in the yin class tomorrow night, which is going to be shoulder and upper back and neck focused, we'll do that pose, but we'll hold it for, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes. Today we must have been there for about 30 seconds, I think. And then gently rolling over to come back up so that you can take that pose to the other side. So you're going to take your left arm out to the side, turn the thumb down, sweep it behind your back, and take it wherever feels right for you, because I know a lot of people are quite delicate in the shoulders. And you'll be different on each side. I've got a lot more availability on the left arm because I'm right-handed. And then come down with all of the weight lying down on the hand and the arm. Make yourself as comfortable as you can. You need to surrender a little bit into this pose. Just allow the weight to do the work. And then if you're going to use the right arm, breathe in, lift it over your head. And reach your fingertips down in between your shoulder blades, if possible. But without strain, so that you're able just to relax that right arm. You might need to get your head out of the way a bit. And then let's take a few breaths. Breathing into where the sensation is most intense. I don't know why, for me, it feels very comforting feeling the back of my ribs and shoulder blades pressing against my hand and forearm. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Like I said to my sister just now, maybe I and a lot of us need to get out more, but it's not really the best time to be saying that kind of thing. Taking a few more breaths, allowing the sensation to flow. We're really increasing circulation in and around the shoulders and arms. Beautiful. And then breathing in to float your right arm up and down by your sides. And rolling over to your right side to remove the left arm so that you can come and lie neutral, arms and legs extended. Maybe you feel a new vitality in your arms and hands and fingertips now. Maybe you feel a warmth, like you've given them some very special attention. And if you'd like to bend both of your knees up again, we're going to give our hips a bit of attention now. So breathing in to bring the right knee in towards you, and breathing out, take the sole of the foot to face the ceiling. We're coming into half happy baby. So with half happy baby, if you can reach the foot with your one hand or two hands, that's all well and good. You might need to hold on lower down the leg. And you're asserting enough pressure without strain, so you have a sense of easing into the right groin and the knee coming down towards the armpit. But like I say, it's so important that you don't strain in this, that you just find softness, a little bit of a yielding in that right hip. And if this is all quite accessible for you, you could slide the left foot away and even lift the left foot off the floor. And my leg's out at about a 30-degree angle from the midline. It was Donna Fahy who showed this to me. It's just so to keep the back of the pelvis really symmetrical and flat on the floor. And then take a few breaths, using your exhalations to really feel that release down through the right side. Incidentally, if your chin is jutting up to the ceiling, you would take a pillow under your head. You want to have a nice long back of the neck. You might even want to move around here a little bit to feel into the right side of the lower body now. Slow, gentle practice. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, slide your left knee back in again. And take your right knee in towards you with your hands. And release it down. Just noticing how the right side of the body might feel a little bit different to the left. And then we'll take this to the left. So breathing in as you draw your left knee in towards you. Exhaling, sole of the foot towards the ceiling. And again, either holding the foot or lower down the leg with one or two hands. And using a bit of pressure just to ease. It's like you're seducing your knee down towards your armpit. It's not going to work with force. And either your right knee just falls out to the side or you lengthen the leg out, maybe lifting it off the floor. At a little bit of an angle from the midline. You can check here what you need to do to keep really balanced on the back of your pelvis. And breathe. And breathe. Can you stop working the eyes? I just caught myself with quite an intense intention behind my eyes, and actually it's not necessary. You don't need that. Just soften your eyes if you're anything like me. Give them some time out. Likewise with the jaw. And breathe. One more breath in. And then on the breath out, allowing both feet back to stand on the floor. Taking a moment to feel the body. You might want to move around a little bit over your lower back. And we're going to take full happy baby. So if you'd like to bring your knees in towards you and take them as far apart as they'll go. And then take the soles of your feet towards the ceiling. Either holding onto your feet or lower down the legs. So I like to hold the outside of my feet, but I know some people prefer the inside. And you're really working, you can use your arms against the legs to pull them as far apart as possible. So you feel a lovely stretch in the inside of the thighs all the way down to the groin. And for this version of Happy Baby, we're going to peel our lower back off the floor. So you're not trying to flatten your sacrum, you're actually peeling it off the floor. And taking a few breaths here. This is excellent, excellent for your lower back. Only peel up as far up the vertebrae as feels right for you. Maybe your knees are right into your armpits. And breathe. Let's take 5 full breaths here. Really soft in the face, around the ears and the jaw and the shoulders. Two more breaths. One more breath. And then gently rolling back and bringing your knees into your chest, having a little hug. Beautiful. And dropping your feet to the floor. And then lifting up your bottom so you can place your hands underneath your lower back. Might be a little bit uncomfortable for the wrists. And lifting your legs up again towards the ceiling. So we do a hinge again, slightly different version. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, you can lift your head a little if it doesn't strain the neck and begin to lower the legs down. It doesn't matter if you take a few breaths to do this. In fact, the slower the better. I just really don't want you to strain your neck. Drop your head if it feels like a strain. And then when your feet aren't quite on the floor, see what it feels like to hover for a couple of breaths. See where you feel that in your abdomen. Try not to do it with your gums and your teeth. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you might know what I mean. One more breath in. And then gently release the feet. Release your hands from under your lower back. And take a moment to soften the whole body. That should feel pretty good. Feel fresh breath filling your abdomen. Wonderful. And then if you'd like to bend your knees up again, soles of your feet on the floor, and interlace your hands behind your head again. So we're going to take a few little pelvic tilts, but involve a little bit of core strengthening as well. So breathing in, can you roll over your tailbone? So you're tilting the pelvis forwards, you create a little gap between your lower spine and the floor. And as you breathe out and you flatten your lower back, you lift your head and your elbows together to look in between your knees. Please don't strain. Breathe in, come back. Tilt your pelvis forwards with that same inhalation. And breathe out, flatten, tilting the pelvis back, lifting yourself to look in between your legs. Let's do 3 more. In your own time, finding your rhythm. It's great for the lower back, great for pelvic mobility, and then you get a little bit of an abdominal strength as well, where you draw the side waist and the navel towards the spine. And release and open on the inhale, tilting forwards, and contract on the exhale, maybe even feeling a little bit of a lift from your pelvic floor. 1 more, breathing in, releasing, opening the front body. And breathing out, contracting flat on the floor, head looking in between your knees. Beautiful. And then gently release your head, arms down by your sides, and take a moment to feel the body. You might like to bring your knees into your chest, have a little bit of a massage on your lower back by drawing circles with your knees. And then taking those circles in the opposite direction. And rolling over to one side. And we're going to come to a little bit of an upper arm stretch that again we've done before, which is slightly strange for some. I'll do it facing you. No, I'll do it like this. You might need a block for your head. I'm just putting that there, but I won't need it. But you might want to put your forehead on them. So you're going to lie on your belly. You're going to slide your right arm to the left, under the left armpit, as far as it will go. Actually, not as far as it will go, because we're going to cross the upper arms together. And then you bring your left arm in front of it. So basically, you're crossing your arms in front of you like that. So you can press the upper arms together. If this is just going to be very uncomfortable, you can just do one side. You could just lie down on the right arm and stretch the left arm out in front of you. But if you are able to, got the left upper arm pressing into the right, curl your toes under and then propel yourself forwards so that your chest rolls over your arms and your forehead either comes to the floor or your forehead is resting softly into a block or a book. And again, we're using the weight of our body today to help us release. So take an inhalation and use the exhalation to accentuate that weight down. It's quite an unusual stretch. And obviously, it's a lot harder if you are big-chested, I think. Take a few more breaths. You should never tolerate any kinds of pins and needles in yoga or any kind of exercise because it would indicate the beginnings of a trapped nerve. So if there's anything like that happening, please come out. And just take a few seconds more to drop into this upper arm stretch. Okay. And then gently lifting your chest, releasing your arms, and for a moment between sides, resting them down by your sides, palms facing up, looking to the right, so the left side of your head is resting. And then from here, we'll take that to the other side. So propping yourself up so you can thread the left arm through. And if you're just doing one side, resting down on the upper left arm and reaching the right arm out and taking your chest over the left arm. If you're doing both arms, cross the right arm over the left, so they're crossing high up. Really press them together, then curl your toes under and propel yourself forwards so that your chest comes on top of your arms and your forehead is either on the floor or resting on a block. And it definitely feels very different to me on this side. I don't know about you. Can you let go, even in this strange posture, can you let go and just trust the weight and the gravity to do the work? Obviously not tolerating sharp pain or pins and needles. If you are, taking the half version with the upper arm out in front of you. Breathe a few more breaths. A few more breaths. And gently lifting your head, releasing your arms very carefully to lie down by your sides, arms facing up, but lying on the right side of your head, just to release into the shoulders and the arms and take a few breaths. Wonderful. And then turning your head around so that your forehead's on the mat and bringing your hands beside you so that your fingertips are about level with your shoulders. And making sure that your legs are together now so that you can press your pubic bone and your big toenails into the mat. And try dragging your tailbone a little bit towards your heels. We're going to come into a cobra very carefully. We're not going to just fling into it. We're going to really feel the engagement here. So by pulling your tailbone towards your heels, you might feel a slight lift of your pubic bone and your core muscles are engaged so you don't over compress the lower back. And then with a light press into the mat, begin to peel your chest up, breathing in. Try and roll the shoulders back, sliding the shoulder blades down the spine. Breathe out here. And maybe on the next breath in, you lift your heart a little way into your throat. Don't feel you've got to lift your chin or take your head back. In fact, better to keep length in the back of the neck. And we'll take a couple of breaths just to really activate the muscles around the shoulder blades. Keep sliding the shoulder blades down the spine. Keep pressing into your big toes and pubic bone. One more breath in. And then breathe out, come all the way down. Resting on your forehead. And slide your arms down by your sides, palms facing up. And then interlacing your hands together on your lower back. Now for this is a snake pose, and we don't lift the legs for this version. So you keep that same discipline and engagement of the lower body as I've just described to you. And then breathing in, roll your shoulders up to your ears and back around. And breathing out, use your arms to lift the chest. So you're really pressing your hands together if you can, maybe the heels of your hands. And finding an opening in the throat now if you can. So it's quite hard to breathe here. It's like you're sipping the breath in up to the collarbones. Can you take 3 breaths? Keep sipping up to the collarbones. Keep pulling your hands towards your heels. Love snake pose. One more breath in. And then breathe out. Release everything, either on your forehead or side of your head, arms by your sides, palms facing up. And take a breath into the front of the body. And then sliding your arms out in front of you. This time we're going to lift the arms and the legs but the arms are going to move quite dynamically. So on a breath in, lift everything off the floor. Only lift your head if that's possible. And breathe out, slide your elbows down towards your hips. Feel the shoulder blades. And then breathe in, lengthen and really fly. And breathe out, slide your elbows down. So you're really activating all the back muscles. Let's do one more, breathing in. And breathing out. And then settling down. This time, take your hands underneath your forehead. Take your hands underneath your forehead and take a little rest here. Maybe even rocking your pelvis from side to side. And we're going to take one more slightly strange shoulder stretch. Those of you who come regularly to my classes will be familiar with all of this. So, can you lie, I'm going to lie off my mat a bit. So, can you lie on your belly with both arms outstretched, palms facing down, and then draw your right fingertips in towards you so that your right elbow is pointing up towards the ceiling. And then use a pressure in the fingertips to roll over onto the side body. You might need something underneath your head. Now I want you to check that your left arm is out at a right angle from your shoulder. So you're getting a nice opening over the left shoulder. And then lift up the right leg, bend the knee and take the foot behind you if that's possible. So that you can press a little bit into your right foot. And it's going to depend entirely on you how far over you come. Some people might be able to roll all the way over and straighten both legs. Some of you might, if you have any injury here, I'd much rather you lay on your belly and breathed, hands underneath your forehead. Otherwise, see if you can enjoy this lovely, lovely stretch, quite an unusual stretch for the left shoulder. A few more breaths. One more breath in. And then breathing out, rolling onto your belly. And we'll take that the other way. So the important thing here is the angle of the outstretched arm. It needs to be at a right angle. I know in the class when I teach this that I often see arms in all different angles, but coming right out at a right angle from your shoulder. Slide the left fingertips into the elbows pointing up and roll over onto your right side. Lift your left leg and take the foot on the outside of behind the right leg, excuse me. And then see how deep you want to come into this stretch. So you're really pressing into the right palm and breathing into the sensation. So my right shoulder is so tight. This is completely different to the other side. No doubt your body will have it, so it will be different to mine. And breathe here. One more breath in. And then we roll over onto our bellies. Beautiful. And pressing yourself up to all fours. So we've done a lot of work on the upper body. A lot of work on the upper body. A little bit of hip opening with our happy babies. Now let's bring some limbering into the spine. So breathing in. Feeling that aliveness in your shoulders as you dip your belly towards the floor and you open the chest and your throat. And breathe out, scoop up to your cat and press through your hands back to pose of the child. And on the next breath in, come up high. Maybe looking up in between your hands and pushing your pelvis forwards a little bit. And then exhale steadily, come back down to child. And then breathing in, come to all fours and dip between the shoulder blades, lower the belly, open the chest. Cow pose. Breathing out, scoop everything up, chin to your chest and push through your hands back into pose of the child. And then breathing in, come up high. And breathing out steadily, find your way back to child's pose. And breathing in, come to all fours and dip between your shoulder blades, lower the belly. And breathing out, scoop up, push yourself back to pose of the child. And breathe in, come up high. And breathe out, come down steadily to child's pose. And then breathing in, come to all fours, curl your toes under and find your downward dog. 5 breaths in your downward dog. Now we haven't done anything to open the hamstrings really, so use this downward dog to explore the back of your legs. You might want to bend your knees, you might want to ripple a little bit. Breathing, 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 and aware of what all that shoulder work brings to your experience of a downward dog. Does it feel different to usual? Breathe, 3 more breaths, pushing the mat apart with your hands and your feet. Lifting your sitting bones up towards the ceiling as you tilt your pelvis forwards. Beautiful. And then looking in between your hands and breathing in as you walk your hands and your feet together. So we're in a standing forward fold. Feet parallel, sitting bone distance apart. And on a breath in, straighten your legs and lift your heart. Lovely long spine. Roll the shoulders back. And then breathe out, fold completely. And then on a breath in, straighten your legs, lift your heart. Slide the shoulder blades down the spine. And breathe out, fold completely. We'll do that one more time. Breathing in and now really feel as if you're being pulled out through the top of your head and back through your sitting bones. You've got lovely length. And then breathe out, fold completely. Breathing in, bring your hands to your hips. And pressing through your feet, breathe out, come all the way up, straight spine, straight legs. And take a moment to feel the body. So I feel pretty good around my shoulders now. I really hope you do. And let's just bring everything we've done into an experience of 3 very classical standing postures that we quite often do. So nothing special, but it's a little bit of work for the lower body here. So take a breath in and either step or jump your feet over 1 meter apart. Take your right foot towards the end of the mat, your left foot in 45 degrees. And take a breath in, feel the length of your spine, and then breathe out. Come to warrior 2 with your fingertips to your shoulders. Make sure your front knee isn't rocking into the middle, but is tracking over your right ankle. And breathe here. The reason I've got your fingers on your shoulders is to keep encouraging the shoulders away from the ears. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, open out your arms and look over your back fingers. Make sure the arms straight. Bring your head back to neutral, inhale. And then exhale, take your gaze over the front fingers. Lovely. And then breathe in, straighten the front leg a little bit. And breathe out, come back in. And breathe in, straighten the front leg a little bit. And breathe out, come back in. Notice that my torso is vertical. Breathe in and breathe out. Lovely. From here, turning your right palm over, inhale and begin to sweep the right arm back as your left arm slides down the back leg. Straighten the front knee a little bit, inhale, and then breathe out. Come as deep into that knee as you like. And breathe joy into this reverse warrior, the right side of your ribs, lungs. Feel the spaciousness in the right side of the body. Beautiful. You can look back down to the back heel if that feels better for you. And then on the next breath in, come back to warrior 2. You could straighten the front knee if you're finding it tiring. And then we'll come to reverse warrior. Side angle pose. So your right elbow is on your right knee. And you're looking under your left armpit to encourage your left arm as far behind you as you can. So you're spinning the ribs to the left. And then maybe avert your eyes up the arm, inside the arm, to your left fingertips. And can you take a few breaths here just to feel the pose your way? Beautiful. One more breath in. And then breathe out, look down at the front foot. Take your left hand to your hip and push through that front foot to come up to straight legs, feet parallel. Take a moment to feel the body. And then we take the left foot forwards, right foot in. Fingertips to your shoulders. Take a breath in. And then breathe out. Come into your warrior two legs, making sure your left knee is tracking over the ankle. And you're quite strong and energized through your back. Through your back leg. Take a breath in here and a breath out, really sliding the shoulder blades down the spine. Breathe in, and then looking over your back fingers, open your arms out. Into warrior two, and this time turn your palms up. We should have done that before. Turn them up, and then turn them back. So you're moving in the shoulders, moving the wrists in your hands. There's quite a lot of vitality in the upper body. And then settle your eyes over the front fingers. Just straighten the front leg and bend back in a couple of times, because I forgot to say that. Breathing, finding your way until you're ready to settle. Then turn the left palm over. And inhaling, reach back into your reverse warrior. You can straighten that front leg a little bit and then come back in again. And now breathe into the left side of the body. Can you feel the left ribs? Can you feel the left side waist? Maybe you're looking back down towards your right heel. Very elegant pose, I always think. And then gently, with a little bit of a push into your feet, come back to warrior two. And then come over into your side angle pose. Only coming down as deep into that front leg as is right for you. And looking under your right armpit to encourage that arm around the back of the ear so you spin the chest. And either continuing to look under the armpit or reverting your eyes up to your right fingertips. And see if you can push through the outer edge of that right foot a little bit to bring a little bit more of an energy line all the way up the right side of the body, and breathe. Lovely. One more breath in. And then look down, breathe out. Right hand to your hip and breathe and push yourself up. Bring your feet to parallel. Breathe out here. And we're going to do one wide angled forward fold, and you have the choice of doing it with your hands to your hips. You have a choice of coming to hold your big toes, or maybe in the spirit of this practice, you'd like to bring your arms behind you. So I'm going to do the version with the arms behind me, but don't feel you have to. Take your toes in and heels out of it, maybe even bend a little bit in the knees. If you're going to use your arms, interlace your hands behind your back and roll your shoulders up and back. Straighten your arms and inhale, have a nice little squeeze here. And then leading with the chest. Exhale, come all the way down. So you could have your knees bent, your legs could be straight. But whatever you're doing here, really come to the breath and use this pose to lengthen your exhalations a little. Pouring the weight forwards a little bit onto the front of your feet. Not so much that you lift your heels and you fall forwards, but just a sense that there's a little bit more weight pouring forwards. And breathe. Really lifting your sitting bones up behind you. Tops of your thighs up and back. Navel to the spine. One more breath in. And then if your arms are over your head, breathe out and just drop them down to your lower back and then slide them down the legs. And then we'll all take our hands around to the front of the mat to transition into a downward dog. Taking a couple of breaths here, a couple of breaths just to stretch out and feel the side body. One more breath in, and then lower your knees. Come to sit back on your heels, either with your hands underneath your forehead, or maybe for this class, wrap your arms around the body, palms facing up. You can always rest your head on a block if you need to. And take a few breaths to come to complete softness if you can. If this is just not comfortable for you, come straight into Shavasana, come to lying on your back. Very, very, very soft inside your mouth, behind the eyes. We're coming to the end of the practice, so if you know that you love to stay a while longer in child's pose, please do. Otherwise, coming to lie on your back. And I'm teaching this to 6 o'clock, forgetting that it's actually supposed to finish at 5:02, so I hope that doesn't bother anybody. And as you come to settle on your back, taking any final movements, anything else you need to do in order to be able to release the body now. Palms facing up, feet falling out to the side. If you chose an intention for your class, you might want to recall that now. Maybe reflecting on any insight that came to you, and it could be insight about your body or about anything. All sorts of things bubble up in a yoga practice. And settle into the natural rhythm of your breath. And if you're not going to come with me to the Hatha Flow class, which will start at 6:05, then just thank you very much for joining me. You might like to turn off your Zoom now. I'm going to put the screensaver on. And if you're coming with me to Hatha Flow, you might as well rest for 5 minutes before we pick up momentum a little bit. And I'm back at 7 in the morning. Meditation, gentle yoga, Hatha Flow, and then tomorrow night at 7:30, as I said, is a yin restorative class focusing even more on some of what we've done tonight on the shoulders, upper arms, neck, upper back. So thank you very, very much for joining me. Please rest for between 5 and 10 minutes or longer. Please don't feel an urge, if you can possibly avoid it, to leap up straight away now. So important that you absorb the benefits of the class. Hi again. So I think some of you are carrying on from gentle yoga and some of you have just joined. Lovely to see you. I'm going to start the practice today seated. So if you need to prop yourself up on anything, please do, and find yourself an easy cross-legged position if you can.